Hi, I'm Jasma. Let's make this mini carrot cake layered between cream cheese frosting that is lighter and airier than the traditional version, decorated with these adorable candied carrot flowers, and all of which is portioned perfectly so that it makes enough cake for one person. Starting with the most essential part of a carrot cake, I'm going to rinse, peel, and finally shred the carrot. I like shredding my carrots into really small bits so the color and flavor are more evenly distributed throughout the cake. Now the thing about carrots is it's going to stain like nobody's business. It stains plastic, it stains silicone, it stains clothes too, but I chose to wear white anyway because you can't show fear in the kitchen. The stain will wash away eventually, but it's just annoying to look at in the meantime, so try and use glass or metal bowls and use darker colored spatulas and utensils so that it doesn't leave an orange stain behind on everything it comes in contact with. Onto the orange, give it a really nice scrub, and then zest it. The orange zest complements the flavor of carrots so well and it makes the entire cake really fragrant. Also squeeze a piece of the orange to create 2 tablespoons of juice. Now to mix together the wet ingredients, crack a large egg into a bowl, add the light brown sugar, and whisk until the sugar granules are mostly dissolved. Then pour in the rest of the wet ingredients, including the flavourless oil, freshly squeezed orange juice, shredded carrots, and orange zest, and mix until combined. Then we can set the wet ingredients aside and move on to the dry ingredients. To the all-purpose flour and cornstarch, add in the baking soda, baking powder, salt, and cinnamon, as well as the chopped pecans, which is optional but it adds a nice texture to the cake. Mix until everything is evenly distributed, then pour the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. Whisk this until a batter forms. You're obviously not going to get a perfectly smooth batter because of the carrots and the pecan, but just make sure there are no dry bits of flour remaining and the batter is ready to go into the cake pans. I'm using 2 4-inch cake tins, which I have lined the bottom with parchment paper. Just going to weigh out the batter to make sure I'm putting the same amount in both cake tins. You can just eyeball this, but having the same amount of batter in both tins ensures that they bake to the same thickness so that they stack evenly, and also so that they bake evenly in the same oven. And as always, I'm just attaching my prepared cake strips so that the cakes don't form a really aggressive dome. Tap the tins on the counter a couple times to pop any large air bubbles, and then into the oven they go at 170 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. Every oven is different, so the time may vary. Now to make the candied carrots for decor, thinly slice up a carrot using a mandolin. You can also do this by hand if you have the patience and knife skills for it. Try to get your slices as even as possible to avoid the thinner parts burning in the oven. Now to make the sugar syrup, we need to candy the carrots, add some water and white granulated sugar to a small saucepan, turn the heat to high and let this come to a boil. Gently pour in the carrot slices, turn the heat down to medium and let this simmer for around 5 minutes until the carrots become really soft. If your carrot slices are thicker, you might need a little longer. And once it's ready, drain away the excess sugar syrup over a strainer, let the carrots cool slightly, and lay them out onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Definitely made way more than I needed, but at least we'll have options. Once the cakes are done baking, you can swap these out and put the candied carrots in and bake at 160 degrees Celsius for roughly 10 minutes. And once they're done, they're going to curl up like these and look like small little carrot flowers. They'll still be a bit soft straight out of the oven, but they will harden as they cool. So back to the cakes. Once they come out of the oven, make sure you do the toothpick test to ensure it's fully cooked, and then remove it from its cake tins, peel off the parchment paper, let these cool completely before removing the dome and cutting the cake into however many layers you desire. Lastly, let's make the frosting. This is a whipped cream cheese frosting. It's a lot lighter and airier because it uses whipped cream rather than butter as the base for the cream cheese frosting. And I'm also using light brown sugar because I think it adds a nice like caramelly undertone, which kind of balances out like the acidity of the cream cheese. The nutmeg is optional. I just like the way it tastes and I think it really complements the flavor of the carrot cake. Mix this until the sugar has dissolved into the cream cheese and the overall mixture becomes really light and fluffy. Then we can pour in the cold whipping cream and continue to mix this until it comes to stiff peaks. Make sure you scrape the bottom so that everything is properly incorporated.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
It's so orange. Look how orange it is.